Hi guys, welcome back to my last video of Next Top Nail Artist Season 6. For this last challenge we were asked to create 5 sets, each representing a different era in the history of creative nail design. For our first set we've been asked to pay homage to the family's roots across 10 nail tips. CND began in 1979 when Dr Stuart S Nordstrom, a dentist, developed the idea for a revolutionary new nail product. Once Dr Nordstrom had patented his brand new cross-linking formula, he gifted it to his son Jim and his daughter Jan, and it wasn't long before the whole family were on board, each with their own role within the increasingly successful company. I was so taken with the story of how Dr Nordstrom managed to devise such an incredible product that was so far removed from his usual line of work. So I thought a really cool way to show the transition from dentistry to nail enhancements would be by creating a family crest or coat of arms for the Nordstrom family. I think it is fair to say that Jan Arnold is the figurehead of CND, so I had to include her as the centre to my piece. I painted multiple layers of breather gel and shellac onto backing paper, making sure to cure between each layer, and then tidied the edges of the portrait using my e-file. I wanted to mix up nail and dental products as much as possible in this design, so I used dental floss to give Jan her signature stylish haircut, which also made her smell minty fresh. The 10 tips I used as my base were great for forming fingers with nail tips one side and teeth and gums the other. I built them up using acrylic to give the shape and add colour. I built up some colour using shellac and blue eyeshadow, and then used an empty toothpaste tube to create a banner with a traditional coat of arms font. I used some nail art paste to create a rustic filigree effect that imitates toothpaste on one side and nail product on the other. Coats of arms generally include shields, swords and other forms of armoury. For this set I had just the thing, toothpick swords. And as a finishing touch I made Jan a fascinator using the chemical formula of acrylic, and added some crystals to symbolise the connection between molecules and maybe even the connection between family. During the 1980s, Solar Nail, CND's first acrylic system, took off and the classic French was born. Over the years, the iconic pink and white has changed shape and style many times, but it's still the go-to treatment. For our second challenge, we have been asked to create an updated version of a French manicure using CND's retention acrylic system. According to whowhatwear.com, style trends for 2019 include a return to the 80s, which is very fitting for this challenge. Neon colours, big bold embellishments and leopard print are making a comeback, and I for one am buzzing. Other inspiration comes from oversized retro accessories in the style of Iris Apfel. For this challenge I took inspiration from large and garish 80s acrylic jewellery, updating the classic pink and white with sharp lines, neon accents, jewellery themed embellishments and negative space and shadows. To make some neon accents I recycled the bead mould that I created for my En Vogue challenge and made little acrylic pellets that I could then mix into a different coloured acrylic, which created a kind of abstract granite effect once I'd filed and polished it. I sculpted geometric shapes on backing paper that I could then peel off and layer up onto my nails. In 1995, CND became the first company to showcase nails on the runway. While the hair and makeup had been taken care of, until then nail art had been largely ignored. That was until Jan Arnold managed to convince fashion designer Cynthia Rowley that nails had earned their place, and they haven't left the catwalk since. For our third challenge, entitled Fashion First, we were given the very simple brief of creating a watercolour design across 10 nail tips. While I have dabbled in the fashion world of my previous life as a shoe designer, my best friend Holly is a textiles designer and creates stunning prints for companies such as Alexander McQueen, John Galliano and H&M. For this set, I wanted to be extra creative with how I displayed my nail tips. So I had the idea of creating sort of a mid-90s style shoe and then using photos of flowers that I found in my garden to create a fabric style print. I always like to keep the plastic inserts in shellac boxes because they're really good as paint palettes, and they even have like a little well that you can put your isopropyl alcohol if you're doing a watercolour technique like this. So I'm using shellac colours in Temptation, Gummy and Blue eyeshadow, and I'm loading my brush with isopropyl alcohol and applying that to the polish when it's on my nail tips, which helps to disperse the colour and create a watercolour effect. Shellac is strong and it's also incredibly flexible, so I thought it'd be ideal to create the straps on my shoe. So I painted it onto backing paper and then cured it, and I think I layered it about 5 times before removing the sticky layer of isopropyl alcohol and then trimming to tidy to create my straps. For the finishing touch, I recreated one of the flowers in my photos using the same technique and then added some Swarovski crystals. The 2000s saw the launch of C&D's first gel system, Brisa Gel. For Challenge 4, entitled Brisa and Beyond, we were asked to create a crystal ball look into the future of nails. This set had to be 3D and presented on actual hands. Being a lover of all things magical, I decided to take the theme literally and build my own crystal ball out of clear Brisa Gel. I recycled my broken acrylic tray from my Wildflowers challenge and etched my own personalised C&D spirit board, The Future Reflected. I inlaid the etching using gel polish and polished to a high shine. I sculpted clear Brisa Gel onto a lotion bottle before curing and then removed it to create the smashed half of my crystal ball. For my mini Nixie, I created a maquette out of wire and bolted up using masking tape. Once I had near enough the right dimensions, I sculpted the outer layer using acrylic. I cut off the fibres from some faux fur and glued them on in layers to build up my hair. The next step was to sculpt my gel nails over forms and assemble the pieces together.